Week 6, Day 2, Part 4. Salary and wages. Summarize the cost of salaries and wages for the first 3 years of operation. Real simple. They want to ask real simple. Salaries. How much are you going to pay your employers? If you're in a barber shop, you might have a receptionist. You might have a cleaning lady. That might be the only 2 people that you pay. Are you going to give them an increase in salary on year number 2 and year number 3? That's what they want to know. If you're not, you're going to pretty much pay them the same, then that's fine. But most likely you probably will, give them a slight increase to keep up with the inflation. But they want to see that. Because if you don't, let's say if you don't do that, then your book's going to be wrong. Then your accounting books for year number 2 is going to be wrong because your original projections was what? The original projections that you're going to keep it the same. But now since you didn't put that down in your projections, and it's causing an error, they're going to say, well, you made this much money last year. They're going to say, why did you make this much money in year 2? But guess what? You made that much money in year 2 because you did not mark your increase in salaries and wages that you was going to pay your employees. But also, what it also does is this: if you don't mark it, how do you know? Do you want to take that hit? Because you might have an extra $5,000 or $6,000. Let's just say a small amount, $5,000 or $6,000 a year in increase in wages. But because you didn't project it, now your sales numbers decrease. But do you want to take that hit, or do you want to pass it on to your customers? So if you pass it on to your customers and you're doing haircuts, you might just go up on your haircuts and all services by $1. Because let's say you did 5,000 services that year number 1. To make up for that $5,000 to $6,000 of increased wages for year number 2, all you have to do is raise it up by $1, between $1 and $1.25. That's it on all your services. You already expecting them to duplicate the same amount of services or more. So that's it. That's the reason why it is so important to summarize the cost of salaries and wages for the first 2 years of operation. All this is a check balance system to make sure that your business is going to be it's going to be profitable. It's going to be suitable to investment. It's going to be suitable to investment. So if you're going to increase your wages and salaries in year number 2, year number 3, I would suggest increasing the prices by a small amount. Figure out how many sales it's going to cost. Figure out the sales. Figure out how much it's going to cost. Why? For you to break even. Remember that? Remember we had that yesterday? Yesterday we went over break even, with the break even analysis. Everything ties into each other. Now, that's just a break even. But remember, earlier today, we went over, we said what? Year number 2, year number 3, you should do an increase. You should do a 20 to 30% increase. So, you already have to account for that $5,000 to $6,000 salary and wages increase. Now, you got to also account for that 20 to 30% projected sales revenue increase. How are you going to do that? Keep that in mind too. Keep that in focus as well. So that's just a little nugget that I wanted to give you. Now I'm about to summarize salaries and wages, summarize the cost of salaries and wages for the first 3 years of operation. Think about for every step, I want you all to think about the big picture. When you think about the big picture, in every step, you won't lose focus, and most of all, you'll continue to stay balanced. That's what you don't want. You don't want to do a financial plan that's not balanced. Because if it's not balanced, it's going to be all over. It's going to be lopsided. So that's what this pretty much is, balancing itself. All right, we're going to wrap up salaries and wages. That concludes it.